Right. So, good evening, everyone, as usual. Pleasant good evening to all the listeners. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson. And of course, I'm not alone today. I'm actually joined with one of our senior consultants, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, who has actually been with Batson Associates in excess of 10 years. I mean, a very experienced young lady. A lot of our clients know her. And she, of course, will be joining me on the live this evening. Keep in mind, it is a question and answer. So that means you all ask questions and we'll answer them, right? The topic of discussion, of course, is always broad. We're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms, two of them to be exact. We're actually live on Facebook. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook, and on YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. So again, the discussion is going to be a live discussion. We look forward to your comments, questions. We know a lot of persons look forward to this Sunday evening live, simply because I think a lot of you all the time. I know 8:30 is still kind of a little early, so we know a lot of you guys may start to come on. But we've seen persons on the live already.
Yes.
So we're going to have a interactive discussion. And Ms. Ramdan, of course, being one of the senior consultants that we have at Batson Associates, we're gonna basically have some announcements for you guys. We have some specials that we're still running. Great products. The Nerve Restore, that product for persons who have issues with sleep, depression, anxiety. And Ms. Ramdan, just Friday, I worked in St. James. And I remember speaking to someone who came to us, and one of the things that we were actually discussing is the issue associated with sleep and the inability to sleep. There are so many individuals out there who have serious sleep problems.
Yes.
And those of you who actually get in sleep, the little sleep that you get, it doesn't really reflect as restful sleep. You have a lot of issues with being still lethargic, very tired, and that in itself is never good. I tell persons, scientifically it's proven it is easier to drive inebriated or drunk as opposed to driving sleepy. So those of you, if you do not get sufficient sleep, it really does affect the body, especially the central nervous system. So we're going to be touching a bit on that. And of course, we are, as I said, live. So you can feel free to join us, add us, share us on those Facebook and our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook, and on YouTube, which those are the two that we are actually currently live on. We are Batson Associates Trinidad. We already have Dawn Lowe in the house. She says, good evening, Dr. Batson and Ms. Ramdan.
Good evening.
And a pleasant good evening to everyone. So, Ms. Ramdan, in your experience, as a consultant at Batson Associates for the past 10 years plus, what do you see as it relates to persons who come in with issues associated with the imbalance, in the central nervous system, especially as it relates to sleep and the inability to sleep?
Yes. So one of the things my job description would consist is doing the live nutritional blood cell analysis testing and also our MRA scan. These two testings give insight details as to what is going on with the human body. As we're relating to sleep, remember, as you mentioned, if it is that an individual is not sleeping, the body cannot function at its best capacity or ability. All right. Now, some persons may get 3 hours sleep and their body is really good, where some may need much more than that. I believe that rejuvenation is very important towards the human body.
Definitely.
A lot of people don't know mentally sleep helps heal your body in that way. It also helps you with your attitude throughout the day. You're dealing with people or just generally, sleep has a lot to do. And from doing the live blood analysis, one of the things that we're able to pinpoint is problems associated with liver, right? Because your liver is also responsible for sleep. It's also responsible for the metabolism and also your energy. So whereas your cells basically supposed to be flowing a certain way, one by one, singular. So think about one cell by itself, moving about, and then you have about 10 or 20 just stacked one on top of the other. We don't want that. Right from the MRA scan, it's able to pick up something known as sentiment index. And from that, Once person's levels are higher or lower than normal, that's a key indication of sleep, anxiety, or depression. A lot of our clients come to us for not sleeping problems, but when we do the analysis, we able to pick up certain things. And we would ask our clients, do you have any problems with sleeping? And the answer would be yes, but how did you know?
Exactly.
Because that whole analysis that is done is able to pick up much more than what you would have originally came for. Hence the reason Batson and Associates always look to deal with the root cause of the problem, right? And remember, your central nervous system, that has a lot to do with your circulation,
Sure.
right? If you're not getting enough blood flow towards that cerebral hemisphere as well,
Right.
that also can be a main contributing factor of sleeping problems.
Definitely, definitely. Well said. And as regards to that, just before I continue, let me just say a pleasant good evening to Miss Rachel Ramtran. She says, good night to my favorite duo. Lovely to see you, Dr. Batson and Ms. Ramdan.
Thank you.
Miss Vidya Abdul, as usual, is in the house with us. We also have Miss Betty Phillip, Miss Joan Lalu. Miss Lalu has become one of our favorites. I saw her like maybe about 5 programs ago, and she's consistent. Like most of the persons, the very lovely Pearl Prasad. She says, good night, Dr. Batson and Karishma. Nice seeing both of you.
Good night.
Always a great team. God bless you both. Thanks so very much for that. We have Melka Rook. She says, good evening. We have Miss Marge Hills. We also have Miss Valerie Hippolyte. Good evening to all you guys.
Evening.
So, as you mentioned that, and quite eloquently, one of the things that you mentioned at Batson Associates, we are very thorough as regards to analysis. And a lot of persons, don't understand how important it is from the perspective of integrative medicine.
Yes.
You spoke about blood cells sticking together. And I remember when I was on the program some nights ago, one of the things I highlighted with a simple analogy, I told them, imagine this is one blood cell. You have 2 sides.
Yes.
But if this is our next blood cell, you have 2 sides. But so you're supposed to essentially have 4 sides.
Yes.
But if they stick together, you lose 2 sides and you only have 2 sides.
Yes.
But the thing is, if you have 100 of them stuck together, you're supposed to have 200 sides, but you only end up with 2 sides, because it's only the 2 ends going to be exposed. All the rest going to be joined up together.
Correct.
And that in itself really highlights how poor circulation is so damaging to the body.
Yes.
Persons who have things like pins and needles cramping in your cars, burning under your feet. But the thing is, poor circulation is not only visible in the feet.
No.
So, because you have different types of circulation, you have pulmonary circulation, which is circulation above the heart. You have systemic circulation, which is below the heart. You also have peripheral circulation, which is circulation in the extremities, tips of your fingers. The circulation that is responsible for you to see is peripheral circulation. The circulation that is responsible for the blood flow in the tip of your toes is peripheral circulation, or what is known as microcirculation. The circulation that is responsible for blood supply to your kidney is also vessels involved. So when you have blood vessels being compromised, and you have that sticking together, or the blood stacking together, it is a clear indication of lack of poor circulation, which is in turn poor oxygenation and also poor nutrient delivery to the cells. We have to understand how important blood flow is. Blood is responsible for the transportation of a number of things in the body. Hormones, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, but most importantly to the cellular aspect, right? So the thing is, one of the things that Batson Associates has embarked on is the opening of various integrative clinics.
Yes.
And these integrative clinics, let me tell you, especially at our new location, which is going to be opened from next week, please God, in terms of taking appointment, that office is appointment only for now, until we finish what we're doing on a larger scale. And that is one of primarily where the integrative clinics are going to be located. Now, we're going to have integrative clinics as well, eventually at all the locations, but primarily there, especially from the cardiovascular perspective.
Yes.
So we're actually going to have an integrative cardiovascular clinic. And what that integrative cardiovascular clinic is going to deal with, or who the persons they're going to deal with, of course, persons with severe issues with high blood pressure.
Yes.
If you have problems with myocardial infarction, so it means if you would have had a heart attack before, or you have a history of heart problems, then that clinic is one of the clinics that is going to be for you. That those clinics, of course, going to be primarily powered by Batson Associates. And when we say powered by Batson Associates, powered in the sense that the protocols that really come to run those clinics and really give the clients the efficiency and effective service that they need, and most importantly, results, is going to be from the protocol of Batson Associates as regards to our expertise as a integrative practitioner or integrative practitioners. So look out for that. We actually have the integrative cardiovascular clinic. We also have the integrative diabetic clinic, sorry. And the other two would be the integrative musculoskeletal clinic, or the other one rather. And so the integrative cardiovascular clinic, we're going to expand on that in a bit. We're going to expand on the integrative diabetic clinic. Why would it make sense to come to an integrative clinic? Just recently, as I said, Friday, I was actually in St. James. I worked, and there's a client who came to us, and she she told us, sorry, that she was actually put out. That's the word she used, or the term she used. I don't think it was that wrong. She said that she was put out from the diabetic clinic. So it means that her results were so good that the doctors didn't find it necessary to keep her in the diabetic clinic, so they asked her to leave, which makes sense because those clinics are already burdened. So with with all these patients that you have, so if you do have a patient that comes there and that shows really good results and whatnot, they sometimes ask you to leave, or they give you longer appointments. So as opposed to coming every 3 months or 4 months, they tell you come every year or every 2 years. And that is, of course, excellent because it means it's less strain on the system. Are you aware of how much money the government of Trinidad and Tobago spends on diabetes alone on an annual basis? Well, of course, we live in a wonderful country that information is always available. So it was a bit difficult to get the statistics, still working on that. But they spend in excess of over $200 million on an annual basis just dealing with diabetics alone. Good? So it means that it is very costly to be sick. I always tell persons that. Hence the words we tell you, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. Because it is very difficult when you are significantly damaged. So let's say, for example, with the integrative cardiovascular clinic, and I'll let Ms. Ramdan pick up from here in a bit. So it means you're dealing with persons with poor circulation. You're dealing, so if you have things like pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning under your feet, that clinic is for you. If you have uncontrollable hypertension, we have found a solution. Having dealt with persons for years with hypertension, we were at wit's end almost when you get very difficult persons with high blood pressure. And what we were actually able to do is put together a protocol. And I'll explain in a little while what a protocol is, because a protocol is basically a methodology or a method of instruction that is given that has to be followed over a period of time, which will include dietetics, nutritional medicine, supplemental medicine, even exercise recommendations. To all the people who think that you should not exercise, think about your body like this. If you have a car that is not... Okay, let me give you an example. If you have an air conditioned unit and you never turn it on, and then you wait a year, so you buy the unit, you build your house, you install the units, but you never lived in the house. When you go into that house, would you just go and put on the air conditioned unit? No, it wouldn't come on. You're going to have to do what? You're going to have to service it. You're going to most likely have to gas it up or whatever the case may be. The point I'm making is that when you do not use various parts of the body, when you don't use your brain, when you don't use your eyes, when you do not use your legs to walk or exercise, a body in motion remains in motion. A body at rest remains at rest. So it is important to use and utilize. I always tell people, when they retire, that is when you die, Most people working good, from the time they retire, you hear about 2-3 years after they die. Why they die? Because they're not doing anything. You are not active. You became inactive. Like that vehicle or air conditioned unit that was never used or was never driven or was never turned on, you are basically left there. The parts start to seize up. Everything starts to get hard. The body is the same. If you do not move, if you do not do some sort of exercise, deep breathing, those type of things, your body is just going to do what? Waste away. So, Mr. Ramdan, from your perspective, as a senior consultant at Batson Associates with over 10 years experience, and I say that deliberately because Ms. Ramdan is quite adept and quite experienced in what she does. You know, a lot of satisfied clients come to her, or come to us rather, and get that type of result. So from your perspective, Ms. Ramdan, you know, what, apart from that stacking in the blood,
Yes,
gives you indication of persons who have poor circulation?
definitely. So other than that, there's something known as erythrocyte aggregation. Is something that we're able to pick up as well. Same stacking, but just in a different pattern, right? So think about all, like about 90% of the cells are just clumped together rather than stacking one on top of the other. All of them are just basically close together. Basically, that is an indication of poor circulation and also strain on your heart. There's something that we pick up too as well, called known as fibrin. Basically, is a protein that is responsible for the clotting of blood. All of these things are key indication. And the worst thing ever is dehydration. Once that sample, we see it in your blood, dehydration. If you're not drinking sufficient amount of water, you will have problems with circulation. I always tell my clients this: blood is made up of liquid, which is water. If you don't drink enough water, how would your blood cells move?
Correct.
A lot of my patients that I see, basically, we have no movements happening. I basically have to force the blood, which we can do. But your blood is a living thing. Your blood is a mirror of you. It's supposed to function a certain way. It's supposed to move a certain way. And we don't get that from a lot of clients, right? And then, you know, we take different types of supplements and stuff too, which carry, you know, a wide number of side effects that we need to be aware of as well. Because a lot of you all come to us taking a whole lot of medication. All of those things could cause problems with poor circulation. All right. Even from the MRA scan that we do as well, that is able to pick up as we related to cardiovascular, your coronary artery, which is your largest artery, just carry blood to the heart. We see that that is a restrict. It's moving very slow, right? And this integrative cardiovascular clinic is targeting these clients. All right, we targeting people who basically would have suffered from heart attack, stroke, or some people may have many ones and you're not aware of as well. And we are able, and we have helped, we have had a lot of success, not only with cardiovascular but other diseases as well. But as we're touching on these clients who basically was scheduled to do stents, triple bypass, all these things, you know, came to Batson and Associates, who they would have heard from someone or listened to us, and they would have given us a chance. And today, you know, they have not done that surgery. They're living life, they're exercising. Movement, you know, activeness in your body is so important. We can't sit here and expect us to feel good. We have to get up and put in the work in order for us to feel good. Dietary aspect is important as well. Watching what you eat, you know, watching the timings that you eat these things, you know. This week I've had a lot of clients with some skin issues. I feel like this week was
like
eczema,
this week was the integrative skin clinic.
Skin, and a lot of the time
a lot of psoriasis,
it's the diet, you know. And we see it from the blood, you know. The outside you might look nice on the outside, but on the inside there's a lot of things that is happening. And these clients, and I was so amazed by that little sample of blood, how much information and knowledge is given. So take advantage of these clinics. The other clinics that we have coming is for those ladies with hormonal imbalance. That we have to basically prepare properly for that, because we're going to get a large traffic for that clinic too.
Definitely. Let me say, of course, a pleasant good evening to Lee Joseph. He says, can you explain the best way to keep hydrated in AC environments besides drinking water? It's another best way. You need to drink water, Lee. He said, there are some days I think I'm over drinking the Kangen water and become lightheaded. It's usually fixed with some salt intake. Okay, what I could say, first of all, let me answer this question. If you are in air condition usually going to give you the feeling you don't feel thirsty. But first of all, you have to understand that thirst is an emergency response in the body. If you are thirsty, it is already too late.
Yes.
Because that mechanism or that message is a 30-minute delayed message. So if you're thirsty 4 o'clock, you're already thirsty since 3:30. So it means the body is in an emergency, that it now sends a message to the brain, and the brain now tells the body to tell you that you're thirsty in order for you to drink water. You understand? So that is not a good thing. If you're working in air condition, we give you a simple recommendation as it relates to drinking water, which is your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So half your body weight, if you weigh 160 pounds, half of 160 is 80, sorry, you should drink at least 80 ounces of water. You could go on Google now and convert 80 ounces into liters, and you'll see, I think, like about 2 point something liters. So it's a very simple mathematical equation. It's not rocket science. But what it means now, you need to dedicate yourself to drink water. And what you need to do when you're drinking water is that you don't just gulp the water, but you sip the water over a period of time, which is why it's very good to have your water at your desk. If you work in that type of environment, if you're working outside, you may be a laborer or something like that, you take some point in time and drink your water. Now, we all understand that we have to work to take care of our family and ourselves, but work jobs do not die. So don't make it a habit and say, well, because of where I work and I can't drink water. Where you working that they tell you can't drink water? I am sure there is no job in the world that tells you you can't drink water. It may be a bit of an inconvenience for you to drink the water, but they can't tell you don't drink water. So it's important that you ensure that you take care of yourself. Good. Now, one of the things Miss Abina Ruiz is asking, how does she make an appointment? Below the live we're doing here, you have some telephone numbers, 222-8261, as well as the WhatsApp, which is quite easy. The WhatsApp is 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. So you could actually message us there, and the office will call you back and they will make an appointment for you. Let me just highlight some persons on the live. A pleasant good evening to Miss Rosemary Bishop. She says good night to myself. Good night, Dr. Batson and Miss Ramdan. Great to see both of you all tonight. Sheldon Matia, he always is with us. He says, blessed night, Dr. Batson, and your company. Just tune in. A pleasure to have you. Nita Cooper, good night to you. Lee Joseph, he says, is there a test to check your fibrin levels? There actually is a test. At Batson Associates, we're going to observe fibrin in the live blood. If it is you need to go and do further tests, we could always send you to do a test where they actually look at your clotting mechanism. That's what they do in the INR clinic when they deal with persons who have blood clots and whatnot, because you actually have to look at different levels where you look at your clotting mechanism or how fast or quickly your blood clots. Usually, when we put a slide on the under the microscope, we're able to see fibrin immediately. When you see high levels of fibrin like that, it means that you have a problem with clotting. Your blood is too thick, and it's usually an indication of dehydration. It is usually an indication of not having sufficient amounts of water, as Mr. Ramdan mentioned there. Just to reiterate that point, you know, your blood is about 70-75% liquid plasma, apart from the solid aspect of your blood, which is your platelets, your red blood cells, those type of things. But plasma is primarily liquid, which contains a number of things inside of there. So it means the mechanism of that is very important for proper circulation. Remember the blood vessels in the human body. If you were to join all your blood vessels in the human body, all of them. So you know you have 3 types of blood vessels. You have your arteries, which are the largest. You have the veins, which are smaller, but they are more elastic, and then you have your capillaries. If you were to take all of those and add them, they would be able to make the length of 66,000 miles, which is the circumference of the Earth 2.5 times. So you see the extensive network that blood has to pass through. So if your blood is thicker than normal, what is it doing? It is putting serious strain on your heart.
Correct.
You have 7 channels of elimination in the human body: your kidney, your colon, your bloodstream, your liver, your lymphatic system, your skin, and your lungs. I'll repeat that again: kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and lungs. Your lymphatic system is the system that is responsible for cleaning your cardiovascular system. So a lot of persons, and that's why Santulan is a very important product. Santulan is a 7-channel detox that we carry at Batson Associates that is designed to clean and detoxify those said channels of elimination, including the lymphatics. So when you have a cardiovascular problem, you also have a lymphatic problem. There are some people who suffer from lymphoma or various lymphatic poor drainage where you have swelling. So they end up with edema, you have swelling in your legs. Usually when you have swelling in your legs, especially by your ankles, that is poor circulation. It is a clear indication of early signs of cardiovascular problems. So make it your business to check out those clinics. Keep in mind, we have walk-in clinics at our usual locations. Those locations, of course, we'll give you in a little bit, but you can call or message us on 314-9975. That's 314-9975. That's the WhatsApp. And of course, you can call 222-8261. That's 222-8261 for any one of those locations to make your appointment. Again, let's say a pleasant good evening to Miss Daphne Charles, Rochelle Parsons Matthews. A pleasant good afternoon to you. Lee Joseph said, my urine is running clear at water intake of 1.5 liters in a work day of 8 to 4 hours. Sometimes I feel lightheaded. Well, if you're feeling lightheaded, you need to check that lightheaded. If you have problems with lightheadedness, it could be a number of things. 1, it could be that your blood pressure too high. 2, it could be that your blood pressure too low. 3, it could be that your sugar too high. 4, it could be that your sugar too low. 5, it could be an indication of poor blood circulation to the brain, which is what Mr. Ramdan was just explaining there. There's a test we do at Batson Associates with the MRA scan. Maybe you could highlight that, Mr. Ramdan, where it actually looks at the status of brain tissue blood supply.
Correct.
Yes.
So basically, that test would scan one of the parts of the body is your brain, and as Dr. Batson mentioned, your status of blood tissue blood supply. Basically, it just lets you know how much blood is going towards your cerebral hemisphere, and basically it falls within the range of basically 143 to about 210 or so.
Right.
And basically we have clients who are in the 90s, very, very low. And this could be a key indication of cardiovascular.
So just now, so for those persons' benefit, you're saying the scale or the measurement that is supposed to be is about 100. I think it's 143 or something like that. To 210.
Yes.
You're saying that you have dealt with persons at what figure?
96.
You all imagine that?
And that's not just being, over exaggerating.
No.
This is facts that we see.
But we have the records.
Yes,
we have the
and
records
people are walking around like normal.
Living dead. You ever hear the old people say it's a living dead?
Yeah.
You're literally a living dead. And that is why a lot of persons don't understand. When you get a stroke, and I always tell people this, when you get a stroke, know that you are in a serious mess.
Yeah.
Respectfully, you are in a mess. Don't let anybody fool you. There is something called a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, or what is referred to as a mini stroke. Listen to me. Where there is smoke, there is what? Fire. Any stroke is a serious, don't let nobody. I remember dealing with a woman, I thoroughly buffed her. She was thoroughly buffed till I told her she doesn't want to come back to me or to us. I really don't care. You know why? When we did the analysis on her and she brought the report and I was looking at everything, I was doing her review. And let me tell you why some people just look for the nonsense. When I saw what I saw here, I said, but you in a serious state of affairs here. Because what she was trying to say, she was trying to make it sound like when the consultant spoke to her, the consultant was trying to make it sound more serious than it really is. You know what are people foolish like that, right?
Yeah.
So you come to us first to help you, and we telling you what is wrong with you, and you telling us that you went by doctors before, and they told you the same thing, so it means it's not so serious. Tell me, is she making any sense?
No.
So I was thoroughly annoyed, so she got buffed. So this is what I told her. When I was reviewing this stuff, I said, but these figures are not looking good. Because we sent her to do additional bloods outside. And we also sent her to do something called an ESR, which is an erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. And on the normal scale of measurement, an ESR is supposed to be 0 to 15. In some quarters, they look at 0 to 20. Hers was 97. The lowest figure is supposed to be either 15 or let's take it even on the higher side, 20. And yours is 97. And you're trying to sit down and have a conversation with me and tell me that you're not so bad. Don't come and waste my time. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't come and waste my time and waste your money. We're not doing that. But let me tell you something. After I questioned her thoroughly, you know what she told me? She said, well, you know, about 2 years ago, I went to the doctor and the doctor told me that I had a mini stroke. So I am sitting down telling you that you could get a massive stroke. And she's telling me that she can't get a massive stroke because she's a praying woman, and a whole bag of nonsense that didn't make any sense. And when she's saying to me that she had gone to a doctor 2 years prior to coming to us, so it means she's worse than how she was then.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you had a mini stroke? Trinidad and Tobago and anybody else listening on this live, do not fool yourself. People don't fall down and die just so, you know.
No.
Now, some people might think it rude, they might think it facetious, they might think it condescending, whatever word you could put there, that Dr. Batson is going to sit down here and buff people up. That is your business. You will get buffed because you're not coming in technically our house, which is what we do at Batson Associates. Nobody can come in your house and tell you where to lie down, where to sit down, and what to do in your house. So you're not going to come here and tell us how to deal with you.
Exactly.
You're not going to do that.
Yes.
Right? We have too much experience and too much testimonies to deal with that. 15 years experience. And Ms. Ramdan has been working with us in excess of 12 years. And a lot of the other consultants that we have. So we know what we're doing. I'm not asking you. But you have to understand, when you come here, you come for help. You didn't come to play games. We don't play pitch and marbles and, you know, 3-hole for bogey and thing. Them thing finish long time. We're not in school again. It's not skip and moral and thing. It's a serious, serious business. So if you're a diabetic and you are on insulin and you want to get better, your eyesight going, you have poor circulation, then the Integrative Diabetes Clinic is a place for you. You are a heart patient. You went to a doctor, they do an echocardiogram, they do an ECG on you, and they tell you you have problems, your ejection fraction, which is the measurement, that is the measure your heart in terms of the workability, for want of a better expression, of the heart, and you want the ejection fraction to improve. We could do that at the Integrative Cardiovascular Clinic, but you will not come here and play. I'm telling you that from now. We don't play games because death and sickness is serious. Because if something happened to you, your family is concerned. You should be concerned. So don't let nobody fool you and tell you about you get a mini stroke. There is no such thing as a mini stroke. No. You are on a road to death. If you get a stroke and you do not know how to take care of yourself after that. Strokes are like earthquakes. Earthquakes have what? Aftershocks. You don't think it's one earthquake you get? Strokes are the same thing. So if you have a stroke, whether it's a mini stroke, a little stroke, a in-between stroke, stroke is stroke.
Yes.
Where there is smoke, there's fire. Do not play those games. So if you're serious and you really want help, then that is something that we can help you with. The question that was asked as regards to Ms. Annie Grant, she says, good night, Dr. Batson Associates. My question is, what causes dizziness? How can it stop? Let me tell you something. If you do not have a problem with these two wonderful things on the side here, your air, because if you have a dizziness because of your ears, that's an easy problem to fix. Because you need to get something, it have things that tell you can put a little olive oil and thing in your ears to take out the wax. Most of the time, people with dizziness, that is not the problem. You know what the problem is? The problem is that you're supposed to get a certain amount of blood inside of here. You notice what Ms. Ramdan said when we do that scan? And listen to me, we have been using that scan, different ones, for over 15 years. And I have seen people who came to us with MRIs, CT scans of the brain, and it tells that they were good. And when we did our test, they weren't good. If you're not feeling well, something is wrong with you. I don't care what test you do. Because you know they could give you a dustbin diagnosis. There's a diagnosis I call the dustbin diagnosis. See what the dustbin diagnosis is? That's rubbish. The dustbin diagnosis is when you go to the doctors and they do every possible conceivable test in their minds and they still cannot help you, and then they tell you you're mad. That is the dustbin diagnosis. And they just give people a lot of that. You will never get a dustbin diagnosis by Batson Associates because we will be able to tell you what is wrong with you. But most importantly, we'll be able to tell you how to fix it. The question is, and here what is dependent on you fixing it? A few things. One, your discipline to the protocol that we give you. Two, your finances. Because at the end of the day, we have to recommend things that you will have to buy either from us or outside, depending on what it is, for you to take inside of your body. As I told someone recently, when I make recommendations or we make recommendations, you see this product here, the Nerve Restore? Watch it good. When we make recommendations for you to take Nerve Restore, which has the ability to improve blood circulation, improve sleep, it's not going in Dr. Batson's mouth or Ms. Ramdan's mouth, it's going in your body.
Yes.
So one of the next factors is finances, right? The next factor is your diligence and your commitment to yourself. And somebody told me recently that they mentioned Batson Associates. There was somebody they know had some problem, and they mentioned Batson Associates, and the person say, I went to them, I don't find he that good. That person's quite frankly some jealous because there are a lot of them out there, and that's okay. God is good. But let me tell you something. We could count on our hands how much people come to us and wasn't satisfied if they didn't follow. People have to follow.
That is the thing.
Look, Mr. Ram, let's sit down right here.
That is it, exactly.
We have people who came to us and they didn't have children. They couldn't make children. We have testimonies. They couldn't make children.
I'm talking about
my brother. My brother is one. My sister-in-law had serious problem. I have 2 nieces, of which I stayed for. One of them is my goddaughter. The biggest is 9, and the next one is 5 years. And his wife could not get pregnant.
Yes, I remember.
So you think we don't know what we're doing here? We're not saying that everybody will get the same result, but what you have to understand, you know, they are saying, go Paul luck is not see Paul luck.
Yes.
So you would hear somebody come Batson Associates and they take a Nerve Restore, they drink some water, and they take a magnesium and they get better.
Yes.
So you automatically think because
that
you have
happening.
the same
Yes.
problem, no, it don't work so.
No, it don't.
It don't work so. Some of your sick sense, God said, let there be light. Since He founded in the world, you sick. And because your neighbor come and get better in 2 days, you expect to come and get better in 2 days. It don't work so.
No.
It don't work so at all. So I'm saying all of that to say, we know what we're doing. We experiencing what we're doing. The difference now is up to you. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't have anybody that come here, but people have to understand, we doing this too long. Too long. I know when you're lying. Look, Mr. Ramdan, sit down right here. If it is we tell you by A, B, C, D, and take it the way you're supposed to take it, you're going to get the results. We're doing this today. There's a young lady who used to work with me. She had a daughter. She couldn't get pregnant. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, for sure.
In DB.
Up to this day.
That child write exam.
SEA.
And she passed top school.
Yeah.
Her mother couldn't get pregnant. And you know what helped her? Santulan and water.
Imagine that.
So don't feel that people he put in their head, yes, you and your wife together, husband and wife, are doing all kind of thing. Swinging on the chandelier and all. And I'm not saying this to be facetious and condescending. You'll understand what it is I tell you. All you know me, I talk plain. I don't have time for nonsense. You're doing all kind of thing and you cannot get pregnant. The reason for that, something is wrong somewhere. There is something in the human body called chronic inflammation. You know how much people have that? Let me tell you what chronic inflammation is. You imagine you're living in a house and they never take up garbage in 10 years. And people just taking garbage and throw it in the house. What will happen there? Yeah. You could live inside of there. You'll have cockroach, ants, rats. And when those things come there, it's all kind of problems. Rats, if rat urinate on something and you eat it, you know what has happened there? You get something called leptospirosis, which usually we treated people for that already, and they live it.
Yeah.
The hospital, when they go in the hospital with that, you don't live, you know.
No.
It have people get treated for that by Batson Associates, and they're still alive. And you know why that is? Because we know exactly what it is we're doing. God is not a liar, and He gave you a body that was designed to work well. I tell people, if you the service your cell phone, it have anybody have a cell phone that lasts for well, you ain't live forever. But you have to change the cell phone, you have to charge the phone. After a while, cell phones don't think.
No.
Because the way they're making cell phone now, you can't even service the cell phone.
You have to change it.
You have to service your air condition. You have to service your car. If you have a power washer, the power washer is get service. If you have a weed whacker, the weed whacker is get service. But you, who were created in God's image and likeness, and it's the best, it have a machine better than the human body. You don't need service it. You ain't drinking water. which is the second most important requirement in the human body after oxygen. And you have foolish, big, hardback people watching you and telling you, I don't like how water this taste. You'll get a next doctor. You're not coming to stress me out. I'm sorry. You will have to get a next doctor. Tough love in the house here. Because if you want to get better, sickness not nice, you know. Anybody listening to this ever had any family member that is on a dialysis machine? Or ever had to take somebody to go and dialyze? People just die on dialysis machines. So why would you ill-treat your body so bad to the point where you end up on a dialysis machine? Nobody who on dialysis machine end up there just so, you know. Hypertension is not something to play with. And that integrative cardiovascular clinic, that's what we do. There's a client, before I allow Ms. Ramdan to make a point here on a question that is asked. There's a client that called from Tobago. You know who I'm referring to. The client, when she came to us, her blood pressure used to be 200 plus, over 150. She was a walking dead.
Really work with her.
The last time I spoke to that client on the phone, you know how much the blood pressure read? 123 over 85. She said, Dr. Batson, I have not seen blood pressure like that for the past 20 years.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And that is because we gave her a protocol that she followed. She wasn't sleeping. She's sleeping now, like a baby.
But she got some buffing.
Because
she wasn't at times, you know,
doing what it is she was supposed to do.
But she came a long way. She came a long way, and I know how she's feeling inside, because we was dealing with her from ever since with that pressure.
So you have to do that. You have to must to do that. Okay. Okay, so we have some questions here. Let me see. Kyle Thomas. Kyle Thomas says, good evening, Dr. Batson, Ms. Ramdan. Happy Sunday. Clarissa George is joining us from tonight. Ms. Ramdan, as regards to Tobago, we would actually be in Tobago. What dates are? What is dates?
Yes. So as good night from Tobago, we'll be in Tobago from tomorrow, please God, which is the night, straight up until Thursday. So you can give us a call or send a WhatsApp to Latoya. Our number for Tobago, it's 312-4248. It's also a WhatsApp number as well, and we have 226-4553. The numbers is at the bottom of the screen, so you can screenshot, send a message, and we'll be there. Take advantage of that. Do not wait until we are not there and then you did not get your appointment. And with Tobago, we plan to work a little bit later than usual, because we have a lot of clients who we want to facilitate as well. So take advantage of that. And we also have some other clinic days as well coming up. Dr. Batson would be in St. James at the end of the month. We have Shagonas. He would be in on this Saturday. Coming next week Saturday, sorry. So we have open clinic days. You can call or message the numbers. Somebody was asking about an appointment on the live to do the blood analysis testing. So you can give us a call at the 222-8261, and we can direct you to what branch is convenient or closest to you. As you know, we have an additional office open now. We have our Londonville office, which goes strictly by appointment, and we cater as well for our clients. With the stairs, some people may not be able to come up the stairs. So we cater for all of that as well. We have our Shagona, St. James, Davy, and not forgetting our Tobago branch. So book your appointments. We have a special running with that, with blood scan for detox consultation. Take advantage of that, because let me tell you, the blood analysis is basically the best test you can give to yourself or someone.
Test in the world.
It is really,
that's one of the best.
Good. And as Dr. Batson was speaking with so much passion, is because he knows what we are about, what we can do, and what we continue to do. You cannot come to us feeling sick and we give you a blood report or a scan report feeling good. Then that's not correct. And that's what basically happens. You have a lot of problems. You have headaches. Your menstrual cycle is not coming. You're not sleeping. But you're doing all these testings and they say everything is good. And who lying? You lying or the test lying? Something is wrong. We have to find a solution, and those testings confirm that, and clients see that, and you hear them, Ms. Ramdan, I did not know that this is what was going on with me. This is an eye opener. We have clients, they're just so amazed by what their blood cells look like. So take advantage of that. Right, we have some promotions coming up as well. We always cater for our public. Look out for that. We have a pop-up promotion coming for our Davy brand. We have not forget our Davy clients. Dr.
Yes.
Batson will be coming to Davy as well. So book your appointments. Also, somebody on the live was talking about hormonal imbalance as we were skimming through.
Yes,
They were saying that this person has not seen their menstrual cycle at all. I believe when I was skimming through, that is not good at all. That is something serious. You
Where
are
they were not getting
supposed,
the cycle.
the cycle.
Yeah,
You are
something wrong with
supposed
you.
to have your cycle.
Yeah.
Some people, depends on age, you might start from 10, 11, sometimes 13 or 14. But remember, females, we are supposed to have a menstrual cycle. There's a reason for that.
Unless you went through
Yeah,
menopause.
unless you went through, right? And we have many, many people that struggle with menstrual cycle up until this day. Painful menstrual cycle, skipping period, heavy bleeding, polycystic ovaries, and we've gotten a lot of success with hormonal imbalance.
Excellent. That's why all those persons who came to us who couldn't have children now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Miss Melka Rook is saying, what is recommended for sleep? I'm glad you asked that question. Let me break down something to you. If you are not sleeping, there are a number of reasons and a number of connections that not matching up. So the puzzle is not complete. And that's why I say, because I'll give you an example. There are people who would use magnesium, for example, and they will sleep. But there are a lot of people who have sleeping problems who will use magnesium and they would not sleep well. You know why? You have to connect the dots. And that's what I say at Batson Associates, we give you a protocol. A protocol. If you search the word protocol in the dictionary, what is going to get? A protocol is a specific recommendations that have to be followed over a specific period of time. That's the problem with a lot of people. You want to just say, okay, I can't sleep, I'm going to buy magnesium and I hope I can sleep. That'll work. It mustn't work. If you have problems, let me tell you something. There are some people who have problems known as leaky gut. Leaky gut is a situation where the holes in your intestines are larger than they're supposed to. I gave you all I spoke about this some time ago. So if the holes in your intestines are larger than they're supposed to, and pathogens, which are bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, or worms, which a lot of people have what it's not supposed to have inside of them. So if that is in your gut, because you get it through food and eating certain things, it burrows through the gut via the small intestines. Anything that goes through the small intestines goes where? In your bloodstream. Then you end up with what? Rheumatoid arthritis. What do you think rheumatoid arthritis is? Rheumatoid arthritis is an indication of chronic high level of inflammatory response. That ESR test that I spoke to you about, erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. When you have a high ESR, doctor's going to give you what? Steroids. They're going to recommend prednisolone. They're going to recommend methotrexate, which is a chemotherapy drug, which is, if you want to do that, well, fine, that's you. But the point is, you're not dealing with the root cause of the problem. Because what steroids do is basically suppress inflammatory response. They do not remove inflammation out of the body. And we already understand that inflammatory response is a normal function in the body. The inflammatory response is a mechanism that is engaged by the immune system, or that is utilized, rather, by the immune system. So inflammation is normal. When you have chronic excessive inflammation, that is how it is be sick. Lupus, chronic inflammation. And one of the things we have is an integrative clinic or integrative autoimmune clinic. And that autoimmune clinic is for people with lupus, all the autoimmune conditions you can think about, rheumatoid arthritis. Are you aware that diabetes is an autoimmune condition as well? Because you know there are many types of diabetes. More than 5, more than you have about 15 different types, 20 different types of diabetes. So when you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you you're diabetic, what type of diabetes you start off with? Is it your pre-diabetic? Is it gestational diabetic? Is it steroid-induced diabetes? Where you got the diabetes from in the first place? And that is wherein lies the solution to your problem. You have to determine the root cause of the problem. How did you end up from point A to point B, and how you're now getting to point C, which is where you need to be to correct the situation. And that is where Batson Associates comes in. That is where that blood analysis comes in and that magnetic resonance. I don't care what blood test you do. What we do subsequently in order to make certain determinations, and we need empirical data, because that's what blood tests, laboratory blood tests, deal with from a quantitative perspective. So measurements, right? Because you can only manage what you measure. So if you have to do a PSA, which is prosthetic specific antigen, they give you a quantitative. There's a number associated with that, whether it's high, low, whatever the case may be. And that is because of antigens. Excuse me. Blood carry antigens, specific antigens. And hence these antigens are able to work on certain things. So when you have a messed up digestive system, which very few people in the world could fix it, because what they're going to give you, Pantecta, omeprazole, what are they going to fix? That's an acid blocker.
Yeah.
Those things are designed not to correct the problems, but is a plaster for sore because you're in an emergency and they have no other choice but to give it. But when you have excess flatulence, bloating, gas, constipation, people think in order for you to be constipated, constipation means that you're not going in the washroom. No, you could have 3-4 bowel movement and be still constipated.
Correct.
You understand that?
Not being emptied.
You're not evacuating waste properly. Do you know how many people we sent to do abdominal pelvic ultrasound, and when we got the results said fecal loading. Let me say it again for you. Fecal loading. You know what fecal comes from? Fecal comes from the word feces. What is feces? So basically what the sonographer is saying is that you have feces in your gut. Now imagine, now put that into perspective, right? When you go and you use the washroom, you just flush as fast as possible. You don't want to smell it too long, you don't want to see it too long. But someone is telling you that you have feces inside of your body, that you will end up with what is known as auto-intoxication. What is auto-intoxication? Prefix, auto is self, intoxication is poison. So you basically, this is what's going on. You have feces, fecal matter. So a lot of people walking around with those big stomachs is not only fat inside of there, no? Then there is a next thing you have, something known as visceral fat. You all know about visceral fat? Ms. Ramnan could tell you, when we do the scan, and even in the blood analysis, there's something we see undigested fats. We see undigested lipids in your blood. So if in your bloodstream it has fats that are not digesting, you know what's going on? You're a perfect candidate for visceral fat. So when you have that big visceral fat is organ fat. Do you know what that does to you? While you sleep at night, it produces inflammatory chemicals. Prostaglandins, cytokines are just two of many. And its sole purpose is to poison and kill you in the night. So when you sleep in and you're supposed to be getting a good night's sleep. Lee Joseph says that visceral fat is stubborn belly fat. That is not stubborn belly fat alone, brother man. That's the yellow fat. When you see if they put that under is it CT boy? CT's computer tomography, MRI. When they put that fat is yellow fat, you know? That fat is designed to kill you. While you are sleeping, it produces inflammatory chemicals, and that is how people end up with chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation, right? Ms. Elizabeth Martin says, what causes scent in urine? My husband is having that problem. It means his kidneys are not functioning properly. Once you're getting high scent in your urine, stink. You're killing people when you urinate. It is an indication that your kidneys are not functioning as they should. Something is wrong. And that's the problem. I tell a lot of people, let me tell you something. A lot of people wait until it is too late. You play games. Fatty liver, Ms. Ramdan. How much people come by us with this fatty liver? Almost 90 what, 5%?
I could have said 99.9.
99.9%. Almost everybody fatty liver. When we send them to do additional tests, your liver fatty. Do you know that fatty liver is 2 steps away from cirrhosis of the liver?
Yeah.
2 steps away.
Yeah.
And cirrhosis of the liver, people don't live from that. Unless if you come to Batson Associates early with cirrhosis of the liver, we could help you.
We have a testimony right at the bottom, Dr. Batson.
Okay, you want to go ahead and read it?
Yeah. Miss Marcia said, "Good night, Dr. Batson and Miss Ramdan. Blessings to you all. Love in the house. I know you all are very good at the work you all are doing. Keep it up. I know what I'm talking about. Right now, my goddaughter is pregnant because of Batson and Associates, and she did well."
Amen.
See? Thank you so much for that. It's right here. We have over 80 something persons on this live tonight. You know, and you're seeing the testimonies of clients, and this is clients who would have been consistent, disciplined, and who would have
I remember that young lady. She listened.
Yes.
She listened.
Yeah.
The Bible says obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
You have to listen.
Yeah.
You have to listen.
And she was not getting pregnant. We're talking about clients who never gotten pregnant, no miscarriage. They never got pregnant, and within a space of a couple of months,
they got pregnant.
Yeah.
But you have to do. I see Clarissa George is asking a question. Dr. Batson, I had 2 miscarriages, and the doctor told me what caused my last miscarriage is my progesterone hormone was too low. What can I do for that? You need to come to Batson and Associates. When you have those kind of serious issues, it ain't no come and buy one product and come. You need to come and get a proper consultation. Let us send you to do the necessary. And that's our next thing. And Clarissa, I'm not buffing you, I'm just making a general statement. Let me tell you all something. When you go to we have people who come. I had someone recently who came to us. The lady come with a file big so. If you see the file, I'm not exaggerating. Files on top of files. Spend a set of money to do tests. And that's why I tell you all, people just want to sometimes treat integrative doctors at all the last. That's the problem. That's all the problem. You have to understand that integrative doctors like ourselves are trained in such a way that we have opinions that matter. It is good by plenty specialists. I have specialists in my own right. Right? And you have to do the necessary in order to get the results that you're looking for. You have to. You have to. Because we don't want you to get a next miscarriage.
No.
Or we don't want you to, listen to me, the people who we have helped to get pregnant, I tell you, we deal with some people in the 50s.
Yeah, we have one in Tobago as well. That woman.
And that's not the only one. And listen to me, there are plenty of people who came here for that and they didn't even call back and tell us thank you. But that's all right. Because we did our job.
But we
heard. We're glad you get through. Because we expect everybody to give testimony and that's fine. But what I'm saying, they came and they got the results. This country have too many sick people, too much. We have a population with over 1/3. Our country is about 1.8 million people, and 1/3 of our population is diabetic. That's over 600,000 people. And a lot of them are children. Children, fat children. We have too many fat young people in this country. And the thing is, you have fat, you don't mind put on a little size and you do a little exercise and thing. But the thing is, they are diabetic. They are pre-diabetic and diabetic. I saw a little child the other day. They should lock up his parents. If you see the condition of that child, the child must have about 6-7 years. He can't even walk properly. Fussy big. And I know that have nothing to do with genetic or nothing. No. It is because they feed in that child foolishness, sugar, soft drinks, and all these type of things. You reap what you sow. Correct. That can't change. You're going to reap what you sow. So the thing is, with that being said, feel free, make your appointment. We have those open clinic days. And if you're serious, it have people diabetic. Let me tell you something. If you're a diabetic and you do not take care of yourself, one of the reasons why we're doing that integrative diabetic clinic is so that your eyes, I talk to people. I remember dealing with somebody some years ago and I told her, I said, "Ma'am, you don't have to come in here every minute. We don't have to see you every time. We did your protocol." I said, "Take care of your eyes." There's an eye drop we have called Eye Optics Formula. We carry a product called anthocyanin complex. That's one of the best products for eyes that I have ever seen. We had a lady came to us recently. She watched me the best results in the shortest space of time, 2 months. The doctors wanted to do surgery on her eyes. 2 months. And when we were finished with her and she went back, the eye specialist said, now, he said, I don't know what it is them people doing we went by, but I have never seen this like this in my life. We do not have to do the surgery. But at the end of the day, there's a financial consequence to everything.
True.
So you prefer to think and don't take care of yourself and then go and pay $30-something thousand to do an eye surgery. And then when you finish doing the eye surgery, you're blind?
Yeah. So sad.
It's sad.
So sad.
But you have to take care of yourself. Diabetes, let me tell you something. If you play with diabetes, people just feel you can't play with diabetes, you know. Diabetes is a monster. I tell you so. That's one of my areas of specialization.
Yeah.
Ms. Ramdan sit down right here. She could tell you how many diabetics we dealt with. And the ones that did what they were supposed to do, they are alive today and they're in good condition. Yeah. Diabetes is not to play with.
No.
You can imagine as a man, if you're diabetic and you're diabetic bad enough, you can't even have an erection. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
You can imagine that? You can imagine the back of your eyes bleeding? You can imagine that? You can imagine you're blind. The back of your eyes is bleeding because you have chronic inflammation at the back of your eyes. How you feel you get that? Because the poor circulation, the explanation that Ms. Ramdan gave, when we do that blood analysis, and that is why we do that blood analysis, when you see those blood cells stacking up sticking up together, you have no oxygen. If you are not getting oxygen to the back of your eyes, of course the back of your eyes is going to start to bleed.
Yeah.
That is basic biology. You don't have to be a doctor to understand that. So what nonsense you talking for me? When you see your toes start to get black and all the instep of your ankle dark, what you think that is?
Yeah.
You are starting to rot. You are rotting. People who get gangrene, what do you think gangrene is?
Yes.
You ever see gangrene? People get gangrene, your toe fall off, you are rotting. And as a human being, for you to reach that point, you are in a serious problem. Let me tell you something. Don't play with your health.
No.
People play games with their health. And it's only when health is taken away from them, then they start to run around like mad chicken. And that is when they is reached by Batson Associates, you know. When sometime or they're supposed to reach first.
Yeah, and then they want to know how long it will take for me to get better.
But you have and asking us certain questions. Yeah. And then telling us your product's expensive. Yeah, no expensive product. You never see expensive product yet. And as I tell somebody, if it is be expensive, we're not overpriced because it's worth. You see that nerve restore? It have nobody ever used that product and wasn't impressed with it. And I'm telling you, if you have problems sleeping, there are a number of things that you have to do. You have to dot your I's and you have to cross your T's. And that's the problem with people. You can sleep better than me. I tell you so. I put down some sleep today. Thank God for that nerve restore and the protocol that I follow, which a lot of the time, we have not gotten anybody here who came to us who was not sleeping and they didn't follow the protocol. You have to follow what we tell you to do.
Yes.
People just got all them things I had to take. You wasn't taking nothing.
Exactly.
You are malnourished. You know, people walking around here and feeling you ain't doing nothing. That's why you're dying. You're malnourished. You're eating every day, 3 square meals a day, and you are malnourished. You know why? You have no knowledge of nutrition. None.
No.
And then all the doctors you're going to, some of them who smart enough to tell you, well, hey, yeah, what? I don't know that. Go by somebody who know. That is what they're supposed to tell you. Don't let no doctor tell you, but don't take this and don't take that. They know nothing about it. You see how half of them this look? Your belly big, and they're drinking a soft drink and they're smoking a cigarette. You can't give no example to anybody. Because if it is you're not well, something is wrong. Something is wrong with you. So if you have headaches and you're fed up with the headaches, check Batson Associates. You're female, you're trying to get pregnant for the longest while. You good, or you think you're good, your husband good, somebody ain't good.
No.
Which is why you're not getting pregnant. Something is wrong. You get stroke already, your blood pressure high, and you want to make sure you don't get stroke again, you check out that integrative cardiovascular clinic. You have alopecia and all your head falling off, your hair falling off, you're getting bald, something is wrong with you. You feel your hair just fall just so? Just so all your hair start to fall off your head? You have psoriasis, something is wrong with you. You're getting pain, your back hurting. You tell some people have back pain, they don't mind the business.
Yes.
You go, you're taking steroid injection in your back, and then the next thing is because you're in an next problem. You cannot, there is no shortcut. My great grandmother always tell me that, you know. Shortcut don't ever work properly.
Correct.
So if you're fed up being sick, listen to what it is I'm saying to you tonight. What's the date today? Today is the 8th. Today is Sunday, the 8th of September. If you're fed up being sick and you're serious, know the words, you're serious, then give Batson Associates a call. Those telephone numbers are below there. The 314-9975 number is our WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp us. And we have schedules. Tobago office, we will be there, God's willing, from the 9th to the 12th. We'll have a representative, the blood analysis, the scan has to be done and whatnot. And Dr. Batson just does review. But what I want you to understand, we have integrative clinics with well-trained consultants.
Yes.
Do not wait to only see me.
No.
Because let's see how I'm looking after God. I plan to look so for a very, very long time.
Yes.
So it means I need to take care of myself. And there's only so much people. We are a protocol, 15 years of experience, not a joke experience. We deal with people with cancer. We deal with diabetes. Because let me tell you something, the way the human body is designed, once you give your body what your body requires, not only from a physical perspective, because you have a spiritual body, you have a supramental body, you have a mental body, you have an energy body, and then you have a physical body. Five bodies. So you have to be able to get certain things in a particular way. You see what that person said? Look at right here. We didn't pay her.
Yeah, right.
Look right here.
Yeah.
She said, good night, Dr. Batson and Ms. Ramdan. Blessings to all. Love in the house. I know you are very good at your work. You all are doing good. Keep it up. I know what I'm talking about. Right now, my granddaughter is pregnant because of Batson Associates. She did well. If we talk about nerve restore, you'll see how much people say about nerve restore. Look here, Rachel Ramcharan, she said the eye optics formula is practically magic in a bottle. Yeah, that clients use that. Yeah. Bleeding in the back of the eyes, they tell them, hey, you had to do surgery.
Glaucoma.
No, glaucoma, which is high ocular pressure. You know, people going blind because of glaucoma.
Yeah.
So we're saying all of that to say, you have the telephone numbers there. The decision is up to you. You have office, you have Davie, you have St. James, you have Londonville. Now, keep in mind, Londonville is strictly by appointments, and those are the integrative cardiovascular clinic, the integrative musculoskeletal clinic. So people in the central area or around there who have issues with rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, you're walking with a stick, you can't walk properly, you bend up, all that clinic is for you. Make the appointment. You could always call the office because we actually have the number for Londonville, but I cannot remember it.
Yeah, we have it
right now.
The number is right.
Oh, right. So the Londonville, that number for the Londonville office is 396. That's 396-6936. So that's 396-6936. We're going to have a lot more programs highlighting that and that type of thing. Yeah. You're suffering from hypertension and you want help, you're serious, give Batson Associates. Headaches is walk in the park for us. You know? It have nobody ever came to us who had problems with headaches and they didn't get results. Once they followed the protocol.
You can't have headaches for 20 years.
Now something wrong with you. You are walking dead, man.
You can't have migraines for 20
Plain talk bad
years.
manners. You are walking dead. That's why people just fall long and get stroke and get brain aneurysm. Because you're not paying attention to yourself. Every time you get a headache, you get something, you're going to take a painkiller. Painkillers interfere with your central nervous system, you know. That's why they stop the pain. How much painkiller you would take? I mean, when you had to do something, I could understand. Yeah. If I go to the gym and I have little soreness and that kind of thing, I'm not using that. It have oil that I would rub and whatever the case may be. But you have to understand you cannot be swallowing those things every day, 3-4 times for the day. You're going to mash up your kidneys. You're going to mash up your liver. You're going to do that. Why do you think when the doctors prescribe certain medication for you, it is standard protocol in Western medicine that they test your kidney and your liver on a regular basis? You know why they're doing that? So they will be able to tell you when you have to go on dialysis. That's why they just do that.
Yeah, that is why.
That's why they'll be able to tell you, hey, we mash up your kidney, we mash up your liver, so now you need to go on dialysis. That's why. Because everyone knows that all medications have side effects. We're not saying no.
Yeah.
But there are times in your life, especially in emergency, you need the medication, you need the injection,
Totally
you need the steroid injection, you need the antibiotics, you need the blood thinners. Nobody is saying no, that's practical. When you're pregnant and you have to deliver a baby, you ain't covered by Batson Associates. We don't deliver a baby here.
No.
You need to go in the hospital or your nursing home or wherever you need to go. So the practical aspect of it, you need to understand that you'd have different doctors for different things and at different times. You know when you need us? We are the maintenance people. I always tell them that. Maintenance.
Yeah.
You want your eye maintained? Batson Associates. You want your brain maintained? Batson Associates. You are diabetic? You want help? You have heart problem? You want help? Batson Associates. And we have earned the respect of people, not only in Trinidad and Tobago. People just leave the country and take plane and reach here, you know.
Yeah, we've had this week we had a few
international clients. So we know what we're doing. Yeah. We ain't playing pitch and rounders and skip inside of here. It's serious business. Serious business. So if you're serious, men too, with all the prostate, this prostate where you all of y'all ending up with catheter is because all you're not minding all your business. You don't play with your prostate. You think, and that's the problem with all, you know, you just want to ill-treat your body, do your body what it wants, and when your body starts to give you problems, let me tell you something, money can help you, you know. You could reach a point where all the money in your world cannot help you. You know why? You did your body bad and it can't come back. And if you come to an integrative practitioner like myself and the clinic that we operate with the consultants, and we tell you we cannot help you, think real bad with you. Because it have few people. Very few. Few. I must count on my hand in the number of years. Very few people that we couldn't help.
It was really.
It really either wait too late.
Yeah, it reached.
And when you wait, because when you're dealing with cancer, I just tell people right up, when you're dealing with cancer, cancer is not a cheap disease to fix. Cancer is not the goal.
No.
Because you have to bring that immune system and bring nutrition. So it means the money that you have to spend to put the things inside of your body to bring about that healing is going to cost you some money.
And when you get diagnosed with cancer, it's not stage 1, you know.
Most of the time it's not stage 1, you know that.
So you're already in a state already.
You're in a state of emergency, you literally done rotting inside already.
Just as kidney too. That EGFR reading would never be stage 1.
And look how many persons, there are people who came to us.
Yes.
Stage 5.
Yeah.
Stage 5, you know. We had the results there.
I believe you see our dietary aspect for kidney
is one of the best in the one of the best in the world.
That diet together with the product is amazing.
It have people come to us with stage 4 kidney.
Yeah.
We move them from stage 4 to 2.
Yeah.
The nephrologist, you ask any nephrologist anywhere in the world, they'll tell you that's impossible. And I am telling you that could be done. But you have to put in the work. The kidney is an organ that loves and operates on exercise. I just always tell people that a body in motion remains in motion. A body at rest remains at rest. You cannot be inactive and just sit down and you just day. Oh God, I'm tired, I do nothing. Laziness. That's why we have so much sick people. We don't drive in car up and down the road. Nobody don't walk to go nowhere again. So you have to make it mandatory to put certain things in place to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
It is now 9:44 p.m. We are very close to the end of our program. I'd like to thank Ms. Ramdan very much for joining me with my loud big mouth self. You all know she's the piece in the set here. All you know I very rowdy and raucous long time, and that ain't going to change.
Yes.
Because I are results man. I don't have time to play games. Ms. Ramdan can tell you, when we come here and we have clinic there and here pack up with people, we don't want to be sitting down here and have to wait.
No.
So the thing where you want to see Dr. Batson, we have people like Ms. Ramdan, we have Mr. Green, we have the other consultants that work with us. It's a team of people to help you. I'm not saying that you wouldn't see me, you know, but it's impossible. Some of you all had to get online and those type of things because I am one person.
Yeah.
One person.
Many
but we have a team of people that work with us. Okay? So with that being said, you have your telephone numbers there, you know your locations. Keep in mind products like you check out your Nerve Restore, check out your Santulan, that 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Also check out Women's Formula. I know Ms. Ramdan can tell you about that product. Excellent product.
Really, really good product. That's an amazing product testimony. Myself, a lot of my clients, you know,
And
really,
Mr.
really
Ramdan
good.
and all is a testimony.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah.
Right? It works really amazing. And look out, tomorrow is Monday. Dr. Batson would have that female hormonal imbalance program tomorrow for those females.
Yes.
You
Thank
know,
you for
so
reminding
we're
me about
talking,
that.
yes, so all those, you know, locked on, you know, we are so thankful for everybody who continues to be on the live whenever Dr. Batson is here, you know, sending in your questions. We may not be able to cover all, but our marketing department would also reach out to you and let you know, direct you to make an appointment, things like that, because you know a lot of you all have a lot of questions about certain things. So we want to help you get better.
Yes,
We want
definitely.
to, and everybody could get help, right?
Definitely.
Everybody, we can help. There's a protocol for everyone, right? And as Dr. Batson always say, if 5 persons have high blood pressure, 5 persons did not develop that the same exact way.
Correct.
So basically,
Well said.
you cannot take the same medication that what Harry takes.
Yes,
So
and
if
in the way.
yes,
Yeah, correct.
you know,
Well
it's a
said.
different, different. You know, I may have hormonal imbalance due to dietary, and next person can have due to you know constipation.
Yeah.
It's a different
Endocrine problems, liver problems, there's a number of things.
So not
Yes.
because someone may come and buy a sandulan and the menstrual cycle came down and it's back to basic, that means that you would be the same.
Yes. And Charms
Yes.
Medicine, not forgetting
Yes.
Enrique. Yes, Mr. Bastamante.
Yes.
Yes. Of course. So guys, I know it had some questions that we did not answer.
Yes.
But of course the information is still there, it is still valid. Check us out, keep following us. Share the information, because so many persons out there need help. Miss Hazel Cummings said start with Santulan here. That product is, I'm actually using my Santulan right now. Your skin looks amazing with that Santulan. So again, check us out. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive,
try sickness.
And if you think education is expensive,
try ignorance.
God bless, guys. And check out that program tomorrow, please God, from 8:30, where we deal with hormonal disruption. So we'll be discussing things like fibroids, polycystic ovaries, infertility, adenomyosis, and the list goes on and on and on. So take care, guys. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And be safe next week on the roads. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.